everyone, it's Liz. I'm back with another Behind the Series here with Dave, and we just wrapped up Life Hacks.
Life Hacks.
It was a long series, so maybe you missed us, maybe you didn't.
It didn't feel long, though.
No, but we're back for another BTS. So I'd love to hear what was one of your favorite moments from Life Hacks, maybe things you learned.
Okay, well, you know what I loved was learning about the cupcake and how you take the bottom of the cupcake and put it on the top of the icing. It makes a little happy sandwich.
Cupcake sandwich, better ratio times 100.
And it helps keep it
Doesn't
nice
get
and
in
clean. But spiritually speaking, I was doing research for the one that I did, the principle of the path, and that Andy Stanley principle of your direction, not your intention, determines your destination. That stuck with me ever since I read it. So
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the last 2 weeks on stewardship and generosity with Megan and Albert. Not just learning good principles to live by, but the heart with which we live them out was fantastic.
Yeah.
So you can catch up on all of that at willcreek.org/watch and catch up on Life Hacks. But now that was a fun series. Now we're turning to something just as applicable, but maybe a little more serious. So tell me about that.
yeah, it's going to be practical, but at the same time, it looks at something that we think is a really felt need in our community, which is mental health. You know, we did a series last year called You're Not Alone, and we had such an incredible response from that series. We thought we'd dive a little bit deeper, and what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 weeks and look at specific topics of mental health. So we're going to look at depression, we're going to look at anxiety, and we're going to look at grief.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have something special planned each week. Somebody's going to be sharing via video. Tell us about him.
Yeah, well, Steve Cuss is a pastor, church planter, but he has a background in counseling and therapy. And so he wrote a book on anxiety that is just kind of blown up. People are reading it all over the place. And he's helped a lot of churches, a lot of folks. And so we're going to have him come and he's going to do some videos for us and sort of look at the clinical side of those 3 topics. And then we'll kind of talk through sort of the biblical scriptural side of those 3 topics.
Yeah, it's going to be a really important and helpful series, whether it's something you've experienced firsthand or you know somebody who's gone through anxiety, depression, or grief. We just want to talk about it, and so that's why we're calling the series Let's Talk About It. One thing I want you to put a pin in the 3rd week is March 19th. Megan Marshman is actually going to be sharing her story of grief as she tragically lost her husband a couple years ago. And so come for that. And if you know somebody who is grieving or you are grieving, we are just praying that it will be a powerful time of hope and healing as we look to just navigate loss in our lives. So
yeah, we said part of our vision this year was for the one, for the world. Like, for the one is, who is that person that God might be calling you to reach out to love, to bless in some way? And I think when it comes to this series, we probably all know somebody who's dealing with depression or anxiety or grief and loss. And so I just think this is going to be an incredible series to invite somebody to participate with you.
Yep, so be praying about the series, think about who you're gonna invite, make sure you're following along on social because we're sharing a lot of resources that way. And you can also check out our resources right now at you'renotalone.cc. So that's it for this series, this episode of BTS. I also, hopefully, I have another BTS in me.
Hey, so let's go. Hey.
This might be one of my last ones because I'll be having a baby, but then I'll be back. So baby girl's coming, and then I'll be back. So maybe you'll see some friends in the future. So that's a wrap for BTS.
I love it.
Did it. Way to go.
Babies. She said, I have a BTS in me.